Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'd like to apologize in advance if this is terrible. Making YouTube videos is hard, and that's why I have a real job. So, quick background on me. I've been playing WoW since vanilla, and my first character was a Paladin, so I thought Holy Paladin would be a good place to start. I mainly stick to PvE content. I'm not a hardcore raider, but I do like to raid when I can. I'm going to start off talking about the basic healing spells, go into a couple of builds, finish up with some healing strategies. Alright, so first spell I'm going to talk about is Holy Shock. Holy Shock is probably the same as it's always been. You can use this spell to heal or DPS. Heals for a pretty good amount, 3200 mana, 7.5 second about cooldown, double the chance to crit. Great spell. Next is Flash of Light. Flash of Light's your fast, yet not mana efficient spell. Heals for a pretty good amount, quick cast, higher mana. Holy Light's not as fast, same amount of heals as Flash of Light, but a little bit less mana intensive. So it's good for predictable damage. If everyone is not taking a lot and you can focus it on your tank, you won't go Next is the new spell for Holy Paladins, which is Light of the Martyr. Light of the Martyr is great because it's got a low mana to heals ratio. You're only spending about 2400 mana to get about 35,000 heals from it. The drawback is that 50% of the amount you heal for is done in damage to you, the Paladin. Also, this does not benefit from your Beacon of Light, so your Beacon of Light won't get any heals from your Light of the Martyr. Beacon of Light is pretty much the same as it's always been. You place the beacon on the target, they get 40% of the amount healed to other raider party members. Also, if you cast Holy Light or Flash of Light, 30% of the mana cost will be refunded. So, pretty much the same as it's always been. Another healing spell which just makes me sad is Light of Dawn. Light of Dawn has a relatively high mana cost to heal 5 injured allies in a 19-yard frontal cone for a measly 16k with a 10-second cooldown. This is just one more reason why you see this spell and know that your job as a Holy Paladin is not to AoE heal. Other pretty standard healing spell well, it's not really a healing spell, but standard spell is Cleanse, and I mention this because it is always better to cleanse a friendly target from poisons, disease, or magic than to try and heal through as it's about to drop off. So those are your basic healing spells. I'm going to go into next a couple of different builds. First build I want to talk about is the leveling build. Now, I say leveling build because when Legion hits, it's going to be the most efficient way to getting your holy artifact weapon to its utmost in level and quality is going to be using it from the get-go. That being said, Blizzard has made some changes that make it so you're not going to be taking twice as long to level up by leveling as holy. Your spells do more damage. It's viable, it's very viable, and I'll show you that at the end. But here's the build. In the first tier I do Crusader's Might. Crusader's Might, basically your Crusader Strike cuts the cooldown on your Holy Shock and technically Light of the Dawn, but you're not going to be doing Light of the Dawn if you are leveling up. So you Crusader Strike, you get to Holy Shock more, you kill stuff faster, all good. Alright, next I take Divine Steed. This is the only movement speed increase for a Holy Paladin, and you have to use a talent on it. So I think these tend to be more needed when you're in a leveling situation. If you pull too much, you need to run away. This is your way. It's a good spell to have as far as that, and it works indoors, in combat, or whatever, so it's good. Next tier I like to do Blinding Light just because it does DPS, does almost 21k to all enemies within 10 yards, and it disorients them for 6 seconds. Non-holy damage will break this the disorient effect, which is good, so if you consecrate and then Blinding Light, it won't break the disorienting effect early. It's good also for if you need to make that quick getaway because you've pulled too much stuff. The next tier, in the 60 tier, the only one that I would talent I would take, regardless of whether you're leveling up or you're doing for ratings, is R of Mercy. R of Mercy is fantastic in that you don't do anything and you automatically get heals. It doesn't heal a lot, but it'll heal you while you're leveling up, so it's less downtime in general without having to even cast a spell on yourself. But you'll also heal up to 3 injured allies within 10 yards for a small amount every 1 second. And then when you click your R mastery, it heals everyone, not just the 3, and increases your healing by 100%. Fantastic talent. Go to definitely for leveling. The next tier, there's 2 choices. I'd say Divine Purpose or Holy Prism. Basically, Divine Purpose, I'll start with that. Light of the Dawn and Holy Shock. It's less applicable to Light of the Dawn, but more applicable to Holy Shock, because that's going to be your go-to spell for bringing back the old Shakaden. It gives a 15% chance to not start their cooldown and to make their next cast free. It's passive. You don't have to think about it. If RNGesus smiles on you, it'll be really good. Next, if you like to have buttons to press because you want to kill stuff and you want more in your toolkit in that form, you can take Holy Prism. Holy Prism is going to damage an enemy target for about 21k, and it radiates healing. So it's instant cast, it's got a 20-second cooldown, it's a button to press. If you're feeling particularly froggy and you want to try your luck with a huge pack, you cast it on yourself and you can get a almost 28k heal, and it'll do about 15k damage to everyone around you. 5 enemies within 15 yards. So if you like to push buttons, that's good. It's also a viable option. Next is, in the 90 tier, is Sanctified Wrath. It's a cooldown. It makes your shocks, your Avenging Wrath lasts 50% longer, and it reduces the cooldown of your Holy Shock by 50%. More Holy Shocks mean you kill stuff faster, you level faster. All's good right there. Last, the 100 tier. Nothing in the 100 tier is really going to help you for leveling, but I'm going to talk about this right now because I only think that one talent in here is worth having, and that's Beacon of the Lightbringer. Beacon of the Lightbringer is great because it kind of negates some of the drawback to your mastery. Now, a Paladin's mastery is Lightbringer, and basically your proximity to your target causes your spells to heal for up to 35% more. This will scale up with the more mastery you get. That being said, sometimes you'll find yourself in a position where being that close into the thick of things is not going to be such a safe thing for you as the healer. This is where Beacon of the Lightbringer comes in. Mastery Lightbringer now increases your healing based on the target's proximity to either you or your Beacon of Light, whichever is closer. So you can stand in range. All your melee that are going to be close to your tank, who will be your beacon target, will get the benefit, meaning that it'll be as if you were standing close to them and your heals will be more. So that's great. The next thing is that you can stand in the range. They get the benefit too. Win-win. And if that wasn't good enough, it buffs the healing and range of your Light of Dawn and makes it just a little bit less sad. That's why that's good. Now, I'm going to tell you why the other 2 spells are bad. Beacon of Faith, I don't want to take that, but I'll just mouse over it. Beacon of Faith is an okay spell, but I don't like it because basically it lets you have a second beacon target, but not only does it receive a reduced effectiveness of having a beacon, but it causes your original beacon to also be less. Your heals will now heal both of your beacons, but at 20% reduced effectiveness. I don't like generally spells that reduce the effectiveness of a spell you already have to give some other person benefit. This is not going to be helpful in a 5-man situation, and I don't think it'll be very helpful in a raid either because Beacon of the Lightbringer is so much better. But it's got reduced effectiveness. Now, Beacon of Virtue, this has potential to be good except for a couple things. So basically this applies a Beacon of Light to your target and 3 injured allies within 30 yards for 8 seconds. Your heals will heal all of them for 40%. So on the surface it sounds like, okay, you've got 4 people now that get the benefit of your Beacon spell. But it only lasts 8 seconds. And it has the 15-second cooldown. And, it replaces your Beacon of Light. So you can't just have that on your tank and just not focus on them so much, but focus on everyone else when they stand and stuff. you have to really pay attention to more things. Plus, you have to cast it, so it's a global cooldown you're using, which you could be using to heal someone. So I don't take that one. Now, okay, that's a leveling build. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail some of the other spells for your 5-man and raiding type. Okay, so in a healing dungeon type situation, Bestow Faith is going to be your go-to spell at the level 15 tier. This is a low mana cost, high heal, but it comes at a 5-second delay. If you are a good healer and you're paying attention to when damage is going to happen, you know your encounters, this is a great spell to have. You pop it on your tank before they go in the pool, and they and do the pool, and it's like that first hit on them is almost negated right off. Great spell, I like it. You just got to. It's not for reactive, it's for predictive damage. So good on that front. Next tier, I give up the movement speed increased to get a lower cooldown on Divine Shield, Divine Protection, and Lay on Hands. These are good spells you're going to have to put into use, but I don't think necessarily giving up the movement speed increase is that big of a deal. But if you're in a fight where you need that movement speed, then by all means, Divine Steed. Rule of Law, increasing the range of your heals and the reach of your mastery by 50% for 10 seconds. I don't need that because I have Beacon of the Lightbringer. Next here, Blinding Light is my go-to again. It does damage. It disorients. Repentance is good if you're needing to be a CC. It's not as good. I mean, I don't see it as being as much of a damaging tool as a CC tool, but it does do up to a maximum of 25% damage to a target's health over a minute. Fist of Justice, I just don't see the value of it. It reduces the cooldown of Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds every time you Judgment. Hammer of Justice has a 1-minute cooldown. Your Judgment has a 10-second cooldown, so you're just not going to do enough of it to make a difference. I don't see it as being worthwhile. Aura of Mercy, again, go-to talent here. Devotion Aura has some benefit. It reduces damage, and when your Aura Mastery is effective, everyone gets the benefit of it. It's good, but I just think Aura of Mercy is better. Aura of Sacrifice is horrible. I wouldn't say get it in any case. While you're above 75% health, 10% of all damage you take by allies is redirected to you. So basically, when dumbasses in the raid or in the dungeon decide to stand in fire, instead of having to only worry about healing them, I now have to worry about healing myself as well. The Aura of Mastery it has a good effect. 10% of all effectiveness of the healing you deal is replicated to the rest of allies in your aura. That's great, but it's just not worth the passive effect that's always going on. People are dumb. They stand in fire. I don't need more things to heal. I'm a tank healer. I'm not AoE healer. If I was an AoE healer, then yeah, this might be a little bit better, but I can't heal that many. I don't need to heal more people. I got enough on my plate already. Alright, moving on to the next tier. Again, I like Divine Purpose. Free Light of Dawn, free Holy Shock. They have a chance to not start their cooldown, and they're free of mana. It's mana effective. If you like cooldowns and stuff like that, Holy Avenger is good. Increases your haste and your healing of your Holy Shock by 30% on a 1.5 minute cooldown for 20 seconds. I don't like cooldowns. I like to not get to that point, but yeah, it's good. It's good if you like that. Next here, I go with Fervent Martyr. It basically, when you cast Holy Light or Flash of Light on your beacon target, it reduces the cost of the Light of the Martyr by 50%. So basically, your Light of the Martyr is going to be a free spell. Mana, I like mana efficiency. I like that it's passive. I'm going to be casting this stuff anyway, and the rest of them are not as... I don't see the draw to them. Judgment of the Light. When you judge, it causes a debuff to be on your target, to where people are whacking away at it. They get a little heal. It only goes for 40 attacks, and it can only occur once per second. So I guess it's kind of okay, but I like Fervent Martyr better. And I already mentioned that Beacon of the Lightbringer is the best talent there. Now, if you're desperately wanting to be an AoE healer, you can go for Light's Hammer in the first tier, and you can go for Holy Prism. Holy Prism's okay spell. It's got a 20-second cooldown, and you throw it on the boss, and everyone standing within 5 allies within a relative distance of your target get some heals from it. It's not a bad spell. Light's Hammer is way too expensive. It's got a short range, and it damages enemies and heals, but this is just a very lame attempt by Blizzard to try and make you feel like you can do AoE heals, which you really can't. So I don't go with that. I stick with what I'm going to be good at, which is tank heals, and I go with it. I own it, and I go with it. All right. So now that we've talked a little bit about these builds, let's talk a little bit about healing strategy. When I first started testing out the Holy Paladin, I'm thinking going back to the days where Holy was pretty effective, and I mained it, and I thought Holy Shock's what I need to prioritize on my tank. Keep those instant cast heals, keep the heals rolling on the tank. But I come to find out real quickly that this isn't always the best strategy. Instead, what I found is more effective is to focus my instant cast heals on myself. This is particularly in play when I'm going to be casting Light of the Martyr like crazy. So let's go over to a target dummy and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so first things first, when we get to this target dummy, this is my tank. I'm going to cast my beacon on him. Let me make sure my talents are good, and they are. Okay, so just to show you, Light of the Martyr is very great. You'll notice that I'm spamming it here on my tank, and my mana is hardly taking a hit, but my health pool is not looking so good. If I keep doing this, I will in fact die. But this is why I say it's great because it's instant cast, but I Holy Shock myself. Look, I got a proc of Infusion of Light. I'm going to cast that on me. You look here in my combat log, you can see that I'm getting healed. I'm getting critical heals from Aura of Mercy, and I'm back up. Also, by prioritizing the Holy Shock on myself and not the tank, I'm getting double the, well, not quite double, but extra effectiveness of it, because 40% of that heal is going to my tank because I have them beaconed. So it's really good for that. It's mana efficient because I'm getting more heals for the price of one. And besides that, look at me. I'm sitting here and heals are just flying on my target. I don't have to do anything. I'm not going to say that you could just go AFK and you'll be fine, but it's good. It just shows you the value of Aura of Mercy. All right. Now, in the beginning, I talked about leveling build and leveling with a Paladin as Holy, and I'm sure some of you are probably thinking that this is a total noob way to do, but reality is unless you're a hardcore raider and you have a really awesome weapon that you got from raiding that's going to last you through most of the next expansion before anything you get would be equivalent, you're going to need to focus on your artifact weapon. And if the only way you're going to level that artifact weapon up is if you're using it, you're questing, you're getting the artifact power from quests, and you're putting it into that artifact weapon. Then on top of that, you're getting drops from ads and mobs and stuff that drop these items that give you artifact power. So you're going to want to level as Holy, but Blizzard has done some things to make DPSing as Holy viable, and I'm going to show you this real quick. That's the main one I need to change. I'll just throw around these couple of things. I'm not gonna cast cooldowns, but I'm gonna show you on this training dummy what I mean. So I open, judge. I'm smacking away at him. I'm gonna drop my consecrate because that's the thing now, and I'm whacking away at him here. And I'm just gonna pull over my recount here so you can get an idea of what I'm doing, and make sure this is on my current fight. And I'm sitting here. I'm not like super focused on it, but I'm talking and I'm whacking away at this training dummy, and my damage is not horrible. Okay, maybe it is horrible. This was going much better earlier, but the longer you whack at this, I should have reset it. All right, that was so terrible. Disregard. Disregard. What did I do wrong? This is why YouTube is for people who know what they're doing, because this is like the 5th time I've tried this. Alright, let's try one more time before this thing gets too long. Okay, open with my Holy Shock, judge, whack away, whack away. I mean, I'm doing fairly good, but my DPS on this the first time I ran it was much better. But you get some RNGs smile on you, and you get some procs, and it's gonna go. But I mean, even look at what I'm doing right now. Just whacking on this for a few seconds, I'm already doing more than 10k. My item level is only 700. It's not like I'm super geared and even Holy, but now I'm doing 14k, and this is holy with a 700 item level. It's getting back up. You know, I've seen upwards of 17k if I get enough procs and I'm do things a little bit better and I'm not preoccupied with all these negative comments I'm going to get on what a noob I am. Alright, but that being said, pretty decent DPS for Holy, I would say. That's one of the reasons why I decided I wanted to do a Holy Paladin. It's got the ability to DPS. Its heals are good. It's got survivability. Not as much maybe utility as other specs. I'm not going to AoE heal. It's just not going to happen. But definitely a worthwhile spec to go in. I like it. I would recommend it for leveling up in Legion, and I hope you would give it a consideration. If you like this video, please like. If you think I should make some more videos in the future, I have played just about every class. I'm not going to necessarily say played them well, but I do know a little bit about Warcraft, and you know, I love to share the knowledge, and if it can help someone out, cool. If you like this video, like. If you want me to make more, subscribe, tell people about it. If you want to comment about what a noob I am and that I should drink bleach and kill myself, please leave that in the comments, because your hate fuels my desire for righteous fury and all that Paladin-like stuff. Alright, I hope you liked the video. Have a good day. See you later.